Perfect. We're live, my friends. This is absolutely excellent. I'm gonna let the people stream on in. Stream on in, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have an excellent show in store for you folks today. In this episode, we're gonna sit down with my friend Claudia here from Uplink. We're gonna explore how Uplink has been redefining decentralized connectivity through its DePIN Layer 1 on Avalanche, of course. And also, we also got to talk a little bit about they hit over 315,000 router registrations in just 2 weeks, right, Claudia?
We're almost at 3. It was 150K in the 2-week range. Now we're like a little over 3 weeks, but it's insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So just to put it in perspective for everyone out there, they're averaging over 100,000 routers per week. It's crazy.
Yeah, like 25K a day almost now. It's
oh my goodness, this is absolutely excellent.
I know, we're mind blown, honestly. Like we don't even know what to do with ourselves. We're like looking back at the data too and making sure everything's legit, and yeah, it's crazy.
That's absolutely amazing. I'm so happy for you folks over there. Just to go over the agenda really quick too, like for the folks out there, first, of course, we're going to go over what Uplink is. Obviously, we'll talk about the DePIN landscape a little bit too. Why now? Why DePIN? Then we'll go over a live demo of the Uplink app. Do some live demoing, and then we'll talk a little bit about a little bit further into like the actual application itself. We'll talk about the real world momentum. Obviously, we talked about over 300,000 router registrations, so we have to talk a little bit about like how that's possible. That's pretty crazy. We'll talk about their decision to go with a layer 1, especially on Avalanche. And then I know that you folks over there, you guys have like more of an enterprise first approach too. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about your mindset with that as well. And then we'll open things up for any sort of future plans and all that kind of fun stuff. And then we'll get you folks on out of here. But I guess just to start everything off, can you give me just a quick overview of what you folks are building over there?
Yeah, so at Uplink, we're building basically a decentralized ecosystem for connectivity infrastructure. What does that mean? I mean, in the simplest terms, we allow you to take your Wi-Fi router at home and use it to provide connectivity. And then we have businesses that want to pay for that connectivity, and we connect everything together. So, yeah.
Okay. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that, right? Like, so you spoke on businesses specifically. Like, how does this benefit the business, and then how does this benefit like the overall end user as well?
Yeah. So we actually started this company back in 2016, which people don't really know about. And it started as a telecom startup, mostly like building solutions, like software solutions, which is the key, to help with basic connectivity needs like SDKs and mesh networks. And eventually, Carlos and the other co-founder, Andre, they were chatting and they were just like, hey, what if we connected to that cell tower and we could actually use connectivity from the existing infrastructure that's already there? And that's when they got into Web3 and blockchain, because it was a very much needed space of, needing to connect and have a stronger internet connection where they were. So that's kind of how we got into the Web3 space. The core vision, though, about like what we're trying to build is kind of like a passion project for everybody in the company. So we either like people in the company have come from like a small village where they couldn't connect at all. That means they don't have the opportunities that we have right now, like me being able to connect on the computer and work from home. That's not something that's an option for them, or learning from home or doing things that, we take for granted. So for them, they wanted to expand that opportunity to people from their hometown or their village or somewhere where they're from. So that was a huge part. And, like a big thing that we're trying to do today is just make the connection that's already existing even better and more equal and equitable for everyone all over the world. So that's kind of the core vision of what we're building. Wait, I can't hear you. There.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's actually really super beautiful. I never really thought of it like that. Like, obviously, I do a lot of traveling, and when I'm booking Airbnbs and hotels, I don't even think about Wi-Fi. Right? I'm not like, oh, do they have
Really?
Wi-Fi there? No, I don't even. I just book it. Like
I
I
do.
it's like you say, I take it for granted. I assume that I'm going to be connected wherever I go.
I've been in so many areas where there's been literally no internet connection. I mean, before, I think El Salvador is a completely different landscape now. But back when Bukele made it a legal tender to make Bitcoin the currency of the nation, it was not very well infrastructure. Like the Wi-Fi and the internet was very poor. Using any type of Bitcoin ATM or making a transaction for a shop owner it would take like 5 to 10 minutes, but just isn't realistic. Like in order for us to do anything in crypto, it needs to be as fast as what we're using for our normal payment processing today, right? Like it can't be slower. It needs to be like, it needs that strong internet connection. So it's kind of the core of everything when you think about it.
Yeah, it literally is, and it's and that's why when you said we take it for granted, it immediately struck a chord with me because I thought about how much I truly do take it for granted. Like I said, when I'm booking these hotels, Airbnbs, I'm not even thinking about connectivity whatsoever. I am just assuming that when I get there, they will have Wi-Fi. Same thing with any cafe I go to, restaurant. If
Yeah,
they're Mhm.
it's a thing. I mean, it's not even, there's some places even in New York City, because Carlos, our CEO, is in New York City, where there's just dead zones, and you can't connect. You can't have an internet connection at all. And that's just, it's okay not to have internet all the time, like realistically, but it's not okay when you need it. And it'd be nice to always have it when you need it, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit about like the overall kind of DePIN landscape that we kind of have today. Can you talk a little bit about the landscape that we have today, and then kind of what you folks have built over there at Uplink, kind of like what the difference is between you folks and let's say your competitors?
Yeah, there's so many different areas that are deep in, as you know. I mean, the big upcoming space is AI, right? And like building out all of these different sectors in AI. And they use a lot of what deep in technology uses as well. There's data processing, like Filecoin, like being able to share your data on a decentralized platform and be able to store your data. So there's a lot of different companies out there in the DePIN space, but DePIN is still like kind of the core of everything that needs to be developed and kind of keeps crypto going, right? And even just like AI itself. I mean, AI is the new upcoming sector and everyone's, it's the new buzzword, but it's not really possible without having a good internet connection. And what's going to process all that data? All of the data that we're using is just growing and growing and growing, and it's a huge problem.
I see, I see. Let's start at the root too. Like DPIN as an acronym. What does that mean?
Oh, ABC. So DeFi is decentralized physical infrastructure. So that means like anything that's physical, if they wanted to put it on a decentralized landscape, then they could. So for us, that's wireless infrastructure like routers. But there's data storage places that you can actually decentralize all of that data storage, which is like Filecoin, like I was talking about. There's other processing ones where like logistics and like it's just physical entity in the physical world that we put on a decentralized landscape.
And you talked a lot about how this can affect, let's say, like more remote town who might not have has connectivity issues. Why is DPIN important to like the broader crypto space?
It's important because the broader crypto space, when you think about it, it needs internet. Like we can't use anything without having a strong internet connection. Like going back to the El Salvador example, like we weren't able to do, it was almost laughable at the time to think about Bitcoin being a legal tender in an entire country where there was no internet and where people couldn't actually transact with that currency, right? Like it's just not possible. Anything that we build, any type of gaming platform that we use, like you can't actually play a game if you don't have internet connection. You know, like even what we're doing right now, this is streaming. Streaming is huge data processing power. Like all of this processing power cannot keep up with everything that we're doing and building. Like we used to not stream this much, you know, not on games, not on interviews, not on AI, like all of the virtual reality that we have set in place too. Like everything is just so much more computational power than we used to have. And telecom communication companies cannot keep up.
Would you say like that's like a core problem that you folks are trying to solve over there? It's just like there's not enough computational power in order to actually support this infrastructure.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. I mean, you can even see a lot of the computation power that AI is using today, they're actually trying to negate and make it to where there's better chips available. So you're using less power for the same type of processing. So that's a helpful aspect, but it's still not going as fast as we are growing. And the infrastructure that's needed is not going to be able to be built in the time and the speed that we're scaling. So that's the problem, is like, how do we solve the solution? And telecom companies cannot solve this on their own. They actually do need a solution like us, like decentralized wireless connectivity. It's tapping into something that's already there.
Also, just to make this like super succinct, tell me why Uplink is the solution.
I mean, I'm biased. Of course, Uplink
Of course.
is the solution. I think that, and we talked about this a lot, is, you know, like the next $1 trillion startup is going to be something related to wireless connectivity in the DePIN space, because this is something that's essentially needed in every aspect of our lives, not just with crypto, but with everything. So yeah, I mean, what we do at Uplink and the reason why we're so important is that we allow any type of infrastructure to become part of the network, which is a totally different aspect than what a lot of people are playing at. You know, like usually you have to go, like when you think about the Heliums of the world, you have to go and purchase a device that's already compatible with that network, and then you're part of the network. We're not forcing anyone to purchase any type of device. It's just using what you already have, existing infrastructure that's already there, that's already connected. And basically, it's like, think of it like a solar panel. You know, when you put solar panels on your roof and you generate electricity and you have all this unused electricity and you can sell it back to the grid, it's kind of the same thing. You know, like there's so much bandwidth that you're not using that you can actually sell back and companies can use to better their internet connection.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, so I really appreciate you for kind of like summing it up in that way, with that specific example, because that like, it struck a chord.
That example always kind of helps people a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know, it's hard when you think about a router. You just know what it physically looks like. You know you're connected, and you don't want to know anything else. You know.
Yeah. But then I do think about like there is bandwidth. What is this bandwidth thing? Let's get it.
I have to, okay, secret. I actually am not from the telecom space. Like I've been in crypto since like 2018, mostly with like blockchain related projects. I was in the metaverse previously. So like telecommunication was like completely new thing for me. The first thing I did when I was hired was actually I went to Porto and they taught me everything about, like we were getting into like the spectrum of connection, like how you can tap into the spectrum, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And then my mind was just like exploding.
For everyone out there, it is like the telecom world is wildly more complicated than you think. I know that you see your router and the blinking lights, and when it's green, it's good to go. But I took an early, I took an early Cisco class when I was in school before Wi-Fi was even a thing. I'm kind of old, folks. Sorry. And they were teaching about how to create wires so that you can get internet, and like how at the time Wi-Fi was kind of more like very, very new, like super new. So like, you know, they're teaching us this thing, and it's very, very complicated. So I completely understand if you're not from the telecom space, and then you kind of like, all right, now I'm in the company now, and I have to learn all
I mean, thankfully, the founders are way more equipped for these type of questions than I am. But I've definitely learned, like, I don't like to be naive if I'm working, and I want to understand what we're trying to do.
Sure.
And so, like, I kind of like now I understand how satellites work, how these telecom companies tap into the spectrum, how like essentially that's how we get interconnection, how it migrates into these certain waves that hit into our wireless device, and then how you can actually expand that with the mesh network. Like I've learned about all of these things, so it's very interesting. And there's actually a lot of companies out there like us, but they do other solutions like that we've been talking to, because we look to collaborate with a lot of people in the space that are offering tools and solutions as well. But we really want to be like that ecosystem and that marketplace that has all these tools, all the solution, people can just connect.
Yes. And actually, so I was researching into Uplink pretty heavily, and I noticed a specific tagline you folks have, which is building a better internet. And I did want to ask you, kind of like, what's that vision kind of look like, for you? Like, what does that mean in practice?
Well, there's, like what we were talking about before when I was like, oh, it's like kind of like a privilege to go somewhere and not have to think about the internet and having access. Well, there is this thing called the internet gap. And what we really want to do is close that gap. We want it to be an equal internet accessibility across the world. So anyone, anywhere that would like to connect can connect. And that's really what we're trying to do. And in that goal and in towards that vision, we help enterprises that are trying to connect as well. And then we are able to, hold on, Bree's having internet. Oh, wait, you're back. Speaking of internet.
Speaking of connectivity issues.
I don't even say I have good internet anymore. I think you understand in a very relatable way now.
I need to introduce these folks to Uplink, my friend.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. We've got a lot of routers in Mexico. We've got a lot of routers in LATAM, and actually Asia. Asia's been doing really well with us.
Oh, really? Oh, perfect. Well, I won't take up too much. Did you already kind of go into building a better internet and like?
Yeah, I basically said closing the internet gap, equitable internet access across the globe for everybody. Like that's what it means for building a better internet. Because if you have a strong internet like I do, I'm like you right now, buddy. I don't really need anything better for my personal, but it's more about like providing that internet to others and actually having a way of making a passive income for myself on top of doing something good. Like it's a whole kind of upgrade on how we see the internet today. So very excited to build what we're building, and it touches a lot of heartstrings.
The timing of my internet cutting out was so perfect that they're probably going to think it was planned. I swear it wasn't.
We paid you for that.
All right. We're gonna stop teasing the folks out there because we do got this. We do got a nice demo for everybody too. I'm sure they're pretty excited to see what you folks have built. If you're ready, my friend.
Yes. Okay. So we do have a short promo video that I'm going to share with you guys, and then we'll get into the demo. Let me see. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep, there it is.
Okay, we will share.
That not having to actually like buy a completely new piece of hardware is
game
absolutely
changer.
major. Yeah, it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. And I think that that's a huge reason why people are flocking to the Uplink platform, is because there's really no barrier to entry. right? Like,
Yeah.
it's free to sign up. It's easy to register your network, and you can go around and register other networks as well. We're having other features on top of that we're adding to, but I'll leave that for later. But
For sure.
yeah, there's just so much. Ready for the demo?
Yes, let's get into it, my friend. You keep teasing them.
So yeah. So this is the Uplink app. It's literally just called Uplink app. It's available on the App Store and on the Google Play Store. So we've got a lot of Android users actually. Initially, you go through an onboarding process where it talks about how you can earn rewards, how you can refer friends to the platform, and that we will have it to where you can connect to the internet access for free. And then, which is a later feature. And then it's all about just making sure that your app is enabling location sharing, and then you log into your account. So
Can we pause? Can we pause
Mhm.
really quick, Claudia? Because you just said something crazy that I just really want. You just said something like super amazing that we got to highlight really quick. Did
This
you say
one?
connect? Yeah, this one. Did you say connect the internet for free?
Yes. So this is
Okay.
something that is coming soon, but it's not so far off. We're just dealing with a few logistics, and we want to make sure, like, we need to map all of the routers that are able to connect already, and then we're able to give everyone free internet access. Because if you don't know where you can connect, then it becomes an issue. So right now it's just launching the app. We're going to have scanning, which is the new feature that we're going to be launching as well. And so that allows people to go around and also scan other routers and earn points for that. We've really gamified this whole platform, which is really fun, honestly. And yeah, and then yeah, everyone's gonna be able to connect to the internet for free. So that means you can go anywhere in the world that we have a connected router and connect for free. So the more routers that we have that are compatible with the network and are online, the better, the more you have internet access, basically, which is really cool.
I think we got a really good comment here from Luana. Decentralized wireless internet is something I would have never imagined happening, and seeing it now is amazing. And she's very bullish.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I know. And a big reason why we haven't been able to do stuff like this, there's a few reasons, but like a big reason is billing and settlements, and why you have to get an eSIM in that exact country is because you have to pay for a set amount of data from that company, and these companies don't really talk to one another on, okay, this person used this much data and this is how much money it was. So that billing and settlement issue is something that we're resolving as well. But it's going to be more like on the blockchain itself, and that's a later date. But it's going to be a huge problem for telecommunication companies that we're really hyper focused on. So
Yes, please bookmark that thought for when we start talking about how the blockchain is kind of worked into this whole thing. Because I'm very
yes,
excited to talk about your decision to build your L1. But
I
sorry to
know.
interrupt the demo.
No, interrupt anytime, please. I've seen this so many times. Actually, this is actually a demo of going through my phone, basically. So
Okay.
it's as if it's live, but this is right before we did this for our community, right before we fully launched. We did a soft launch with the community, and just so they could just understand it a bit more. And it's been really helpful. And then we have to enable location sharing in order to register a router. So this is super important. It has to be fully accessible at all times. And then it's very simple. You create an account if you don't already have one, and you log in, and then allow notifications if you want to be notified about surge areas or new missions that come up and stuff like that.
Can I stop you one more time, Claudia?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be stopping you fairly frequently to point things out because
please do.
I always say this a lot of times when builders build revolutionary things, they don't even notice they don't even notice that it's like super innovative, revolutionary. Like, for instance, your app is in the App Store. That's already amazing.
Yeah, that
within
was
itself.
the key. But yeah.
I know that had to be a hard one, so that's already amazing within itself. But
Yeah, the iOS store is always fun.
we talk a lot on here about simplifying the onboarding experience for the end user.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, it looks like they can, just like any other app that they're used to, download the app, sign up with their email, and get going.
Yeah, we wanted to make this as simple as possible because we want everyone to be able to use this app. And then as well for enterprises too, if they wanted to use this, we have our portal basically is manually where they can manage their spend and what they're using and stuff like that. So it's all very simple, because if you have to relearn something or buy something, then it creates this whole barrier that we just really didn't want to mess with. So we really wanted to make it as simple as possible. And actually, if you created an account on our Explorer or our portal, it's your login for all the platforms. So it works with the app, it works for the portal, it works for the Explorer, and they're all deeply, deeply integrated and connected. So that's kind of what you see here.
Also, our friend Luana is currently signing up right now.
Hey, awesome. Let us know if you have any questions live. That's amazing. Welcome.
Right, let me stop interrupting.
No, I love it. Please do. So basically on the main dashboard, we have like a banner that gives you more information. You can get a direct connection to the portal. We also have documentations that explain what a registered router is versus a pre-registered router, which is something that we had previously when we first launched the Explorer. And then we have verified routers as well. And we know that there's like a lot of terminologies and a lot of this is new for some people, and like what information we're taking from you, and all these questions are very, very valid. So we outline all of that in our docs. And then on the main dashboard, you can already see here that I have, this is actually my router. So you can see here that you can register your router and it pops up on like the main screen. So as soon as you're connected to Wi-Fi and it's not a registered network, it's going to show up like this. And then you just go ahead and click register and then go through the process. So do you have any questions, Preview, or do you want me to go through it?
No questions as of right now. This is so straightforward and simple. This is amazing.
It's so simple. I mean, you literally just click register, and then I'm pretty sure that's what we go through now. Yeah. And then it registers you through. So you stay connected to the Wi-Fi the entire process. Pretty explanatory. And then you start the entire onboarding process. So is this your location? Yes. Are you public or private Wi-Fi? What type of venue? So I was residential, so I clicked residential. And if you're indoor or outdoor router, which some people have outdoor. And then that's really it. You earn 50,000 points for having your router registered on the platform. And then you start earning 1,000 points every single day that your router is connected. So you'll see that after 24 hours, and it just kind of goes exponentially. And if you happen to register a router in a surge location, like right now we have Buenos Aires still live, then you automatically will get the surge multiplier. So that means you earn 10,000 daily points every single day that the surge is live, which is really cool.
If you got a good question from Job Freeman here. Is it one Wi-Fi, one account, one device?
Yes, we actually have a process in the back end because we don't want to allow people to do multiple. If I were to connect my router right now and disconnect it and reconnect it, those points previously would be taken away, and then the new points would show again. So we track it based on your actual router and the data that we get from your router, rather than just like the name of the router, if that makes sense.
I see.
A little more intricate than that. Yeah. So it keeps a lot of, what's the word? Malicious intent at bay? I don't know.
Yeah. That sounds good.
We just wanted to make sure that everything that we're doing is very like equal and fair. So the people that are actually there registering real networks are getting the most out of the platform. Yeah. So we're constantly looking at this. We're constantly updating. Actually, when we first did our soft launch, a few users pointed out like a bug here and there where they could like budge the system. We were like, thank you so much. We have like a bug bounty program that's live, and we give them extra points just for helping us. And we have a lot of people in the community that are just really into making sure that the platform's super integrity sound, if that makes sense.
Makes complete sense. Thank you.
Really nice. It's amazing. It's really nice.
You got more to show me, my friend?
Yes. So Surge is also too on the app, and we're adding more locations as we go. But right here, it'll show you the duration of how long surge will be going, where you'll actually earn for surge, and like the total hexagons of like an area of surge. And you can actually click on it and go straight to the map where you could see where surge is live to see if your location is in the surge area. Surge means, like, let's say we have a partner or a business, or even, I don't know, Avalanche is like, hey, we need connection in this area or this town, or we're going to do an event and we want to just activate this entire area and get people connected. We can actually create a surge area, and people that have routers in that area or deploy new routers will earn 10 times during the time the surge is live and active. So it kind of allows us to like pinpoint areas where connection is needed a little more often.
That's actually super amazing that that you can kind of like put that out to the community, and then this area that may not have had like any connectivity or very sparse connectivity can now be completely filled with internet access. That's so dope.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the whole point of what we're building. You know, we need it to where if you don't know where we need the extra connection as well, then, you know, like how are we going to tell people, okay, deploy here? Because there's so many routers in so many areas, and it makes a lot more sense to have designated areas for specific periods of time where we need to add more routers and people get paid accordingly. So like a lot of what we built on the platform that is gamified through points is a simulation of sorts of how the token's going to work on the platform as well. Because if you go and deploy a router somewhere where there's poor connectivity and we make that a surge area, and you're like, hey, I'm going to go buy a router, I'm going to put one in here, and I'm going to help solve this issue, like obviously you should get a lot more rewards for that. So that's why we've created these surge mechanisms to kind of simulate what that's going to be like.
I'm loving this. This is absolutely, and it's so, the thing that I like to keep pointing out is the ease of use of it, and how like the UI UX is really, really simple, so that you can very easily onboard someone. Like, you know, this is something that I can say, hey mom, like download this app, connect to your Wi-Fi.
I know. Actually, when my dad downloaded it, he was like, now what do I do? Like, you know, like he was so easy for him that he was able to boom, 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 get it done so fast that he's like, didn't even know what else to do anymore. I'm like, well, you can go to other locations, you can register more routers, and then we have the social quest. So like, on top of everything, there's just actually a lot more to explore, and we're adding a lot more as well, a lot more functionality. But this is just the basic app that we just first launched out, which is already doing very exceptionally well, which is just crazy. And that was just the main dashboard. So now we also have the referrals. So a big point that I mentioned earlier was you earn a lot more from referrals. So you earn commission points, and then you also earn bonuses. So if you refer like 5 people to the platform, you'll get a bonus, and you can get up to or upwards of 1 million points just from referral bonuses alone. So, which is crazy. And then the commission goes into 3 tiers. So I think it's 5%, no, maybe 10, 20, 30%. I don't know. I need to look at this again. But you earn commission based on the tier and the direct referrals that you make and who they refer as well. So it's really advantageous to start referring people to the platform now, because you can always add more to your points early on if you refer more people, and then they refer people as well. And then we also have a leaderboard, which we're going to be doing a lot more contests related to leaderboard soon. We're just going through like a few of our point mechanisms right now. And we did launch avatars, which is really cool. And then we have the Explorer. So that first tab you saw, which was here in the dashboard. And then the middle tab is our Explorer, which is actually like our map of coverage. And then it also shows surge. So you can see kind of our verified routers, which these are only the ones that are mapped. We actually have 3 million verified routers through our open roaming partnership with the World WBA. So we just need to be able to like map them in order to show them on the map as well. So our verified router count is going to go up a lot once we get the scanning feature live and everything going. And that's where everyone's going to tap into the free internet access. And then we have Surge as well, which here you can actually see Surge pop up in Buenos Aires, which I'm sure you're aware of where that is, Breevi, because you were just there.
You know what? I think we got a good question from MS here.
Okay.
I think you might have answered it earlier, but just so that they got it, what continents is this available on?
Everywhere. You can't, the only limit that we have right now on routers is if you're a nomad or like on the water. It needs to be like a stationary router device, indoor or outdoor. So, and private or public. So really any and every router counts. But if it's a moving router, it's hard to actually legitimize those. I think we'll have a solution for this later on. It's just not in the cards right now. So that's our only limit.
Got you. And I don't. Did you have more from the app as well, or
there's a little more? I mean, barely. So basically, you can see too on networks. You can see like where I have networks that are connected. And this is also where if you're looking for a new, like if you're looking to add a new Wi-Fi device, you can actually scroll here or go back to the main dashboard, but this is where you can actually connect. So here it'll say connect to an unregistered Wi-Fi network to register. And then that same network that you saw on the main dashboard where it said register will pop up here to register as well. But this is where you can see all your live networks basically. And then there's one other cool feature on the app, which is your points. And it's kind of like a breakdown of your ranking, all the points that you've earned and when you earned points on that date. So you can kind of see like full transparency when you earned a point, if that point was confirmed or if it was not confirmed, and what day and time that you actually got those points. There's a full analytical version of this on our portal, and that's where social quests are right now, which are our social missions. And we're working on putting that on the app as well, but right now that's mainly in our portal, and it allows you to do a lot more and see a lot more analytically on the platform, which is really cool.
Speaking of the social missions, we got a good question from Luana here. Are you constantly updating those social missions?
Yes, we are constantly updating the social missions. We have a few Avalanche social missions, but we need to add some more. But yeah, those are constantly being updated. Absolutely.
And we got questions streaming in. I'm loving this, my friend. We got Chiz Protocol here. Do you earn rewards if you share your connectivity via Uplink network or with no user connecting, i.e. using your provided connectivity in your region?
Well, right now, no one's connecting to your network as soon as you register your Wi-Fi router. It doesn't allow anyone automatic access or anything like that. So yeah, it's not like that. It's more like right now we're just rewarding users for adding their registered router to the map and for the uptime of that router. So the points daily that you receive are for uptime. And then there will be other things like you can go around and scan other Wi-Fi routers and check that they're live and check for like various information that we need from that router to make sure it's viable. And then when we actually have everything live, like testnet, everything on chain, that's when you'll actually start earning more token related rewards for your connection and for your router. And there's going to be an ownership of that router process just to make sure that you actually own that router in order to earn direct rewards. Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense to me. And for everyone out there, as you can see up on the screen, you can download this straight from the Google Play or Apple App Store and you can get started. I mean, if you missed out, like the onboarding process is the process that you typically used to. Just sign up with your email and get started. But I also want to talk a little bit about this momentum that you've kind of gotten. Like, obviously 315,000 router registrations. That's absolutely huge. Can you talk?
Uh-oh. I think we lost you. Okay, I'm going to assume you want me to talk about the success of the platform. Okay, so basically our first, I'll just lead this. Basically, our first massive milestone was in 2 weeks, we hit 150,000 registered routers. That means routers that went onto the platform. It's okay, Bree, I kind of just went with it.
Perfect, thank you.
Sorry, guys. I think I know where he's going with this, so I'm just going to assume. So yeah, for the first milestone that we hit was the 150K. And the reason why that was so impactful, that's all new routers, because those are people that are going into the platform and registering new routers. So that was insane. The first 2 weeks, I mean, technically we only did a hard launch that week. So during our soft launch, it was really just, hey, we gave it to our Discord community. We had them, point out any bugs that they found, and we gave them that opportunity to earn first. So we do let our Discord community, have a lot of advantages that other community members don't have, which is really nice. And then we launched it hard on Monday, which I think that was like the 21st maybe or something. I think it was the 21st. So really it's only been live for 2 weeks. And in that first week, it hit 150,000 router registrations. So we went from like seeing a few to like, pew. It was crazy. And now I just got notice that we hit 315,000 router registrations. So that's new routers that are on the app getting registered, and totally insane. I mean, our pre-registered routers, by the way, which was through the Explorer, that was the first platform that we launched. And it was just like, hey, show us your location where you'd like to provide connectivity. That gave us no actual information besides show us you have interest. Where do you want to show that interest? And that, like, we had about 200,000 pre-registered routers, maybe like 250 since October. So to go from that to the numbers that we have now that are like legitimate connections to the app, which is, I don't know, it's insane. We're very happy.
I'm super happy for you, and what this kind of means for Web3 overall. You guys are setting like a really good example.
Oh, thank you.
No problem at all.
Our community is really excited, and honestly, it's all because of our community. Like they've really held, the torch on this. Like they believe in what we're building. They see the simplicity of it. They've followed our teams for a while now. And yeah, they're really excited. So we're just kind of helping light the way.
So obviously you guys made a huge decision in deciding to build your own layer one with this thing. Can you kind of talk about that decision? Like, why did you decide to go that route?
Well, we wanted something that was completely customizable, which is something that we could do with Avalanche, with our own layer one. And we also wanted something that was uniquely ours, that we could design exactly how we needed it, that would work with our Fortune 500 companies and the enterprises that we work with. So really, like, a layer one was an easy answer for us.
Completely understand too. And I know it's so, because you folks do have like more of a kind of an institutional focus as well, don't you?
Yeah, we have to have, so we have this global Fortune 500 standard. Like we actually went through 18 months of due diligence on our platform with the Fortune 500 company that we do work with. And yeah, it's just been, it's a lot. We have a lot of standard of quality that we have to provide, of connectivity and everything. And, making sure that everything is secure is a big part of it as well. So we needed to make sure that we had all those aspects figured out, and having a layer one just kind of solved a lot of that for us. Wait. We do this now.
What kind of partnerships are you seeking moving forward?
We have, so I get questions about like, oh, do you need more leads or whatever? It's like, no, actually we have too many on our plate as is. It's more about prioritizing the businesses that are going to have the most impact for our community and for connectivity in general, right? So we prioritize those type of relationships first. And that's led a lot. That's really helped support like the community and everything that we're building initially as well. we have a lot of businesses too in the telecom space because we came from that background. So initially we actually started with business, and we had developed this kind of solution with them, with the Fortune 500 company. And we've recently 5x the amount of deployed routers with them. So yeah, we're excited to roll out the relationship. I'm trying not to say everything. Trying to roll out everything that we have with them soon, and we're excited. I feel like we've been talking about this kind of hidden for a while, but because of our contract, we have to be very secretive about this until we officially launch with them. But we do have the green light, and it will happen in the near future. So very excited.
For everyone out there, you see, I get folks up here, and I just try to squeeze them of alpha as much as I can. Like,
no, I'm pretty good at not saying what I shouldn't say.
Yes, you are. She's evaded all of my tactics, everybody. Sorry.
For real. Trying.
So we're coming up at kind of close to time here, so I do want to kind of open things up for you to kind of talk about any sort of exciting updates you may have coming up in the future, any sort of future vision that you want to talk about. So I'll kind of give you that space here.
Yeah. So we're really excited about new app features that we're going to be releasing, like scanning, which will lead us to the free internet access that we're able to give everybody on the platform. We're also in the middle of our testnet build. So really excited to start building that and start building that with the community and being a little more transparent about how we're building and what we're building and everything. We're going to have a wallet that's deeply integrated in the platform as well that will launch around the same time as our testnet. And then we will have our token launch. So actually, we called this year the year of running because there's so much going on. But we're in no rush either to launch our token. Like we're planning for the second half of this year. But with market conditions and with things that are going on, we also want to make sure that everybody it's a success, right? And that we have real utility on the platform before we launch this. So really utility, what we're building, that's key. And then the token will come after.
And let's say I'm a user I'm a potential user who's watching this right now, who is really, really moved by your words. Where's the first place I could start?
The first place you can start, so we have our docs. So I would go to our Twitter that has all of our information, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. And then we have our docs as well, which is docs.uplink.xyz. And that has a lot of our information on the Uplink app and where our iOS and Android links are and how you can get started on the app. I would first go into the app, create an account, register a network, and then I would go into the portal and start playing with the portal and creating social missions and completing everything. And you can actually connect your Twitter account and your Discord account and actually like earn for the activity that you're doing to help amplify the platform, and share your referral links because that's also really cool.
That's absolutely huge. Claudia, thank you so much for the people out there. Yes, if you're looking to follow them, we have them right down here. But for my folks who are listening on Spotify and all the other major streaming platforms, you can follow them at uplink_XYZ. And you can follow Avax at Avax. Make it super easy for you folks. If you're just kind of tuning in, you can either decide to rewatch this thing on back, or I should have this thing uploaded to Spotify within the next 24 hours. You can check it out on your ride to work or from work. But man, Claudia, I really, really appreciate you for being willing to come on to the stream today. Like, it's been absolutely amazing. What you folks have built over there is absolutely huge right now.
Thank you so much, Ruby. It's so great to meet you guys and, to be on the AVAX platform as well. We're big supporters and we can't wait to build our L1. So let's get started.
Let's get it. To everyone out there, let's get started. And the first place to go is at uplink_XYZ. And the second place to go is the App Store, where you usually download apps. Sign up like you're usually used to, right? Yeah, sign up like you're used to. And then go ahead and register your router and start earning some points, my friends. All right. I'm going to end this thing in a very interesting way. I'm just going to say peace, everybody.